Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another wonderful vid. Obviously, you know what this is going to be about because you can read titles. I'm going to be talking about the state of music in 1998. We're going to cover a couple of different things. First, we're going to talk about uh, what was dominating the music scene in 1998. And then we're going to talk about kind of the lay of the land and what had happened since 1988. So, uh, first of all, as far as what was a big deal in music back in 1998, boy bands were kind of dominating pop music at the time. Of course, rap, hip hop, and R&B were absolutely giant genres in 1998, extremely popular. Country music had continued its descent into absolute garbage and incorporated even more pop influences and was, in my opinion, completely unlistenable at that point. Let's see what else. Of course, what's near and dear to my heart, rock, metal. Obviously, in the intervening years between 88 and 98, Nirvana had, of course, exploded onto the scene in 1991 and blew up the world, so to speak. So you, of course, had the rise of grunge and alternative rock. And, of course, by 98, that stuff had really taken a bit of a nosedive, and rock kind of sound it was largely dominated, at least what you heard on the radio, by a whole lot of what I would call second generation post grunge bands. That was the big thing at the time. Of course, metal was going through at least traditional metal was going through a dark time at that moment. There were lots and lots and lots of articles in magazines about how heavy metal was dead or dying and how it was in trouble, and oh my goodness, because it just wasn't particularly popular at the moment. What's ironic is 1998 saw an absolute explosion in popularity of a lot of bands that could be considered metal that were, quote, new metal. I hate to use that term, but kind of fit into that classification, and I'll be getting to those when I talk about my personal favorite albums of '98. Includes a fair bit of that stuff. But anyway, um, that's just kind of where music was at the time. It was another, of course, transitional period. I mean, but music is constantly transitioning. Now, what what was driving a lot of the changes in music at the time? Well, there is one extremely significant event that happened between 1988 and 1998 that completely transformed the world. I wonder what it was. What happened between the years of 1988 and 1998 that transformed the entire global economy and modern life largely as we know it? Hmm. It could be this is just me spitballing here. Could be the popularization of the internet and the World Wide Web. That might be the important event that I'm talking about. Clearly, that had a gigantic impact on not just music but everything. We went from in 1988, computers were only used in businesses and by a few nerdy hobbyists here and there. But by 1998, with the popularization of the internet, everybody was starting to get computers. For good or ill at that point, and it was totally transforming business and everything. So, what impact did that specifically have on music? Well, by that time, these were starting to get some use. Of course, a lovely CDR we have here. And also, what was significant that happened, two things. One, well, I guess I'll do tie into the internet. One here is the introduction of the first MP3 player. And yes, Apple fanboys, it was not the iPod. It was not. It was something called the MP Man. It looks like, and that came out in 1997. But in 1998, Rio Diamond MP3 player came out, which actually, I'm sorry, the Diamond Rio MP3 player came out, which actually attracted a lawsuit from the record companies claiming that it was copyright infringing. It's amazing how little some things change. The old guard freaking out about new technology. Gee, we haven't heard that story before, and we won't hear it again. But anyway, that's where it was. Napster had not yet exploded onto the scene. That didn't happen until 1999, which will definitely play into when we revisit 2008. CD sales had not yet peaked. Speaking of CDs, they were by far the dominant music format of 1998, bar none. CD sales wouldn't peak until like 2001. But, obviously back in 1998, a lot more CDs were selling than are now. In fact, CD sales were so good that they pretty much completely pushed out vinyl records and cassettes by that point. And they were selling by the truckload back then. And let's see, what else? A significant cultural force in music was starting to lose its relevance. Had really started to lose its relevancy by this point. MTV, back in 1988, I said how it had exposed all sorts of, people to music they wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. By 1998, MTV had begun its decline into just reality show garbage. Now, they did show music videos back in 1998 still. I think probably by that point, maybe their programming was 60-40, 60% other crap and 40% music videos. So, but the writing was definitely on the wall for that network by 1998. It was definitely losing relevancy. But again, that thing called the internet was a pretty big deal for music because people could then discover a lot of new music that they may not have discovered otherwise. I certainly discovered a crap load of music when I first connected to the internet that I never would have heard of any other way. So that was, for me, as soon as the internet became a feature in my life, it completely replaced discovering music via more traditional means. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. That's kind of where music was in 1998. And of course, when we swing back around in 2008, things will have changed quite a bit again. So let me know in the comments below if you think I left anything out, any significant events, whatever. As always, if you like this, thumbs up. If you hate me, thumbs down. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Guys, this is bonus content because I forgot to just incorporate this into the original part of my video. Part of the point of me doing this is to not only talk about where music was in each one of these decades, but to kind of tell you where I was in each of these decades. Obviously, in the original video, 1978, I was born, so I was a baby. In 1988, I was 10 years old and had not yet fully discovered music even. 1998, I was 20 years old. I was a young adult. I still had hair. Back then, I had just very recently had moved out of my parents' house in 1998. Attending college, working very menial jobs, retail, customers, like lame phone customer service jobs, sales, rent-a-cop, factory work, warehouse, name a job of some sort. I may have done it at some point. So, and I had moved in with my ex-wife. Lovely stuff. So just to give you an idea of where, to you guys, of where I was at in life. I was a young adult at that point, and just starting out in the world, and my job skills were not yet worth too much money. I'll just say that. So Anyway, that's it. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there where I was in the world, making my way, all that stuff in 1998. And I was burning a lot of these. So that's it. Thanks for watching the bonus content.